So, how can I heal my mind and my body and rebuild my body in the face of fear? How can I heal my fear and rebuild my body? On Monday, we talked about coping with techniques. We talked about excuse me, I had to turn off some sound there. On Monday, hello, it's Wednesday, and so on Monday we talked about me providing you with techniques to deal with fear in the moment. We talked about the effects that fear has on the body and how to protect yourself against that. So what we want to talk about now, because Monday was about being in the middle of fear. What we want to talk about now is going a step further and inoculating yourself and your body against the ongoing effects of fear. So we're in the middle of this epidemic of fear. Got the fear of COVID-19, the fear of financial collapse with the loss of all those jobs. We got the fear of businesses failing, fear of violence in the street in the middle of a pretty angry country with one side hating the other. Fear is all around us. Fear is all over the place. And to be honest, while fear is something we'd all like to get rid of completely, fear is incurable. It cannot be eliminated completely because we need it. Fear is a survival of our bodies. So what we have to do instead is to learn how to train our minds and bodies and how to regulate our fear so that it does not destroy our immune system or cripple us with an uncontrollable rush of fear. So please click on the thumbs up button below if you haven't already done so, and please choose to subscribe. Remember, I would love to hear your thoughts, comments, and questions. So please use the chat box or the comments section below. Okay, fear. First of all, fear is supposed to be a situational condition, that is, not a constant one. It's only supposed to be there when called upon with a situation that requires it. But if we're living in constant fear, as we seem to be today, constant fear, anxiety, a continuous sense of dread, ongoing anxiety about catching COVID-19, then we need to train our systems, that means our minds and our bodies, to protect ourselves and reduce the effects of fear that we have to deal with. Because fear is like a magnet, to tell you the truth. Fear is like a magnet and is going to attract negative situations to you to match the negative situations that you imagine when you're in fear. Remember, what you feel and what you think are not confined to your body and your head. What you're doing is you're sending that out. So when you send out these fear pictures to the universe, it's like sending out an order to Amazon. If you do it often enough and vividly enough, it's going to be delivered to you. So what we want to do here is change the polarity of what you're sending out so that instead of being negative, it's positive. Instead of attracting negative situations, it's attracting positive, beneficial situations to you, which can bring to you your life prosperity, health, happiness, spiritual enlightenment, all those usual good things that we want. So, as we embark upon this program of protecting you from the ravages of runaway fear, the first thing you need to remember is this. Let me bring that up. You are not a victim. You are not some helpless, innocent bystander who has been caught up in the situation where you are powerless. If you think you are powerless, then you have rendered yourself powerless. So throw that concept out the window because your erroneous beliefs can kill you. I'm reminded of a story by Dr. Joe Dispenza in his book, You Are the Placebo. In the book, he tells the story of a man who was told by a doctor that he had cancer, pancreatic cancer, and that he had 6 months to live. Immediately, his condition began to worsen. And no matter what treatments he got, his condition continued to worsen. And finally, 6 months later, to the date he got that diagnosis, 6 months to the day he received his negative diagnosis, he died. Now, no one was surprised that he died because, hey, they said he's got 6 months to live, and that's what he did. He lived for 6 months. So it was the expected outcome. The surprise was that when they did the autopsy, they found that he did not have pancreatic cancer. In fact, he didn't have any cancer at all. The doctor's diagnosis was wrong. But that man believed so strongly that he was dying from cancer that he died from his belief in cancer. Don't let your beliefs kill you. Don't let your beliefs kill you. What I want you to remember is that you are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. You are a spiritual warrior. You have more power than you like to give yourself credit for, but it is now time for you to begin to claim your power and bring your body, your mind, and your spirit to a state of healthy resistance to fear. How do you do that? First of all, turn off the media that is trying to convince you that you're going to die. We're surrounded by this media that's always talking about how many people have died and how many people have caught it, and we're in this terrible pandemic and there's no way out. That's what they're telling us. Now, I understand that because we are in the middle of a pandemic and there is a lot to be concerned about. But even though they're telling you that there's no way out, a positive COVID test is not a death sentence. A positive COVID test is not a death sentence. As I speak today, there are about 11,400,000 confirmed COVID cases. 11 million people have caught COVID. And of those 11 million, 4.3 million have recovered. 11 million have caught it, 4.3 have recovered, and the terrible number is 250,000 have died. But what does that mean, 250,000? Well, out of 11 million people, 250,000 is a death rate of 2%. A death rate of 2%. You know what that means? That means that 98% of the people who catch COVID live. So turn off that media that keeps telling you that you're going to die. Turn it off. It's not true. 98% of the people who catch COVID live. So, after we understand that, the next step is to begin to clear out the clutter of past grudges, blame, shame, and victimhood. That is the emotional baggage that hangs on to us and makes us vulnerable. It breaks down our immune system and makes us vulnerable to disease. We need to begin to get rid of that, which means we need to start forgiving. We need to clean the slate so that your aura is not like Velcro. Velcro, which snags on whatever it touches. So your aura will be like Velcro, grabbing hold of any negative situation you pass by or any germs or what. You don't want to pick that stuff up. So you need to smooth your aura. You need to get rid of the baggage we're carrying the shame, the guilt, the anger, the resentment, the grudges. And so I say, as repeated in the book of Mark, verse 25, and when you stand and pray, if you hold anything against another, forgive it, so that your Father in heaven will forgive your trespasses as well. Forgive it, clear it out, let it go. I remember a scenario in the movie The Aviator in which Howard Hughes was inspecting a racing airplane that he designed. And he would come out, every time they'd take it through a new iteration, he'd come out and he'd run his hand along the skin of the plane. And whenever he felt the head of a screw or something like that, he complained because he wanted it to be completely smooth for the least amount of air resistance. And that's what unforgiveness is like for you. That's what unforgiveness is like for your soul. It's like those screw heads. It'll snag the unpleasant things and drag you down. So forgive, clear your soul, clear your aura so that it's smooth, clean, clear, positive. Next, we want to practice the presence of infinite intelligence. Practice the presence of infinite intelligence. And what that means is expand your awareness of the work of infinite intelligence in your life. Expand your awareness. Become aware of the good things that happen to you and express gratitude for them. Now, I'm talking about all the good things, no matter how small. Like if you go to the store in need of an item and when you get there you find that the shelf is empty because there was a big sale and everything is gone except for one item. Know that that one item was there for you and you say, thank you to infinite intelligence for the gift. Or you're rushing to get an elevator and the doors are closing, then someone reaches out and holds the door for you. Say thank you. Thank you not only to the person who helped you, but also say thank you to infinite intelligence for putting that person there to help you. Thank you. Practice the presence of infinite intelligence. Practice the presence and live in an attitude of gratitude, because in an attitude of gratitude, your gratitude will be rewarded. Next, take the time to contemplate, meditate, and formulate. Because while we're living in the now, we're focusing on what is right before us, because that's what we got to do in order to move ahead. We got to be in the moment, not drifting off thinking about the past or about what could happen in the future. So according to the philosopher Kierkegaard, life is lived forward. It's only understood backwards. It's lived forward, but only understood backwards. So every day we take time out to look back to see where we are, to determine where we want to go, to see where we've been, to be quiet so we can hear what message infinite intelligence has to share with us. So at night before we go to bed, maybe at lunchtime, if we have time, or in the morning when we wake up, we contemplate to see where we are now, what has brought us here. And as we understand where we are now, we can look forward to where it is we want to go, and we can make plans. And as we're making plans, we can be quiet and listen and see what infinite intelligence has to tell us. Contemplate, meditate, formulate. Life can only be understood backwards. So what we're doing here is we're building habit patterns that will empower us. Now, by doing things on a continuing basis, I must admit they won't take effect right away. We need to understand that. But we have to keep doing them. And that requires determination and discipline, because we have to keep doing them, understanding that as we do things over and over and over again, as we keep doing them, eventually we won't have to think about it anymore. Why? Because they will become habits. That's what we're going for. We want to take advantage of our body and our mind feature that habituates things we repeat over and over again. At some point, your mind's going to say, okay, I got this. It's now a habit. So you don't have to worry about doing it anymore. It's going to become automatic. Now, according to John Dryden, we first make our habits, and then our habits make us. So that's what I'm saying. We work to make it a habit. Contemplate, meditate, attitude of gratitude, understanding that we are individualized expression, repeating that over and over to ourselves to the point that it becomes a habit, and we know is it is the truth. And if we make a habit of being at peace, then whenever we get under stress, that peace is going to kick in automatically because it's a habit. Very important. Develop a habit of being at peace. Develop a habit of being in gratitude. Develop a habit of knowing that you are not a victim, but you are indeed an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. Now, word to the wise, it may not look like we're working on the issue of fear, but we are. On Monday, I gave you techniques for dealing with fear in the moment. They were short prayers that you could use immediately that would affect your mind. You know, that you could repeat over, and they were shorter enough so that you could repeat them over and over again, and easy enough to remember so that they would come easily to you if you chose to memorize them. The purpose of these is to work on your mind very, very subconsciously to affect your mind. I'm reminded it's a technique for a bit of what may be called self-hypnosis, but there was a song in 1956, the production of The King and I, and in that song, I think it was Julie Andrews, who, no, she was too young for that. I don't remember who it was. But anyway, she sang the song that says, "Whenever I feel afraid, I hold my head erect and whistle a happy tune so no one will suspect I'm afraid." Obviously, I'm not going to make any money singing, but later on in the song, she says, "The result of this deception is very strange to tell. For when I fool the people I fear, I fool myself as well." She's hypnotizing herself. She's going in and changing her mind with positive reinforcement. Whistle a happy tune. It becomes a habit. Whistle a happy tune. It's a cue to your mind to go back and get rid of the fear. Stop being afraid. So, like that song, the prayers that I gave you are short, repeatable, and effective. So, take a look back at Monday's video to refresh your memory. So today I'm giving you the tools to protect you and to block those vicious attacks of fear. Your deep understanding that you're a powerful, individualized expression of infinite intelligence and not a victim reminds you or removes the uncertainty of who you are. See, that uncertainty, fear needs it. Fear needs your uncertainty to gain a foothold. So by doing the "I am an individualized expression of infinite intelligence, I am not a victim," then that uncertainty is gone. You clear out all the distractions of anger and guilt and shame and resentment with forgiveness. So if you're forgiving, You remove the snags that can hook you into negative situations where fear lives. So forgiveness clears you of the snags and little impediments that can lock you into a fearful situation. And then your growing awareness of infinite intelligence, the continuous present of infinite intelligence doing things for you, little things, big things. You're being aware that infinite intelligence is always there, taking care of you, giving you little gifts that you receive daily, and you say thank you. And that is a shield against negative emotions which fear can feast upon. And finally, your quiet time, where you can get your bearings, get in touch with divine guidance, uh, help remove the doubt of where you've been and why and where you're going and who is always with you. Fear cannot, when you do that, fear cannot confuse you. Fear cannot deceive you into a sense of being lost and alone. So if you can do all those things on a regular basis, those things that I've just offered to you, you begin to realize that you have an advantage because you can be calm under pressure. So when the unexpected leaps out at you, as you know it's going to, you won't run in terror. You'll face it with clear eyes, a clear mind, and a peaceful heart, which will allow you to see through the smoke screen and make the right decisions for you. Fear will no longer be able to loom over you and intimidate you. You will be able to step back from fear and put distance between yourself and fear. And then, as that ever-widening gap between you and fear grows, you can begin to better see what fear actually is. What fear actually is this. False evidence appearing real. Let us close with prayer. Thank you, infinite intelligence. Thank you for bringing us all together in this life so that we become spiritual warriors and joining the work we have come here to do. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship to life and infinite intelligence. Thank you for showing us who we really are. We open our minds and hearts to the truth of our being. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we are beginning to understand our value to the continuity of life on this planet. As we become channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives more and more. And we know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we are now restoring our connection through the grace of forgiving, knowing that as we learn to forgive ourselves for the pain that we have caused to ourselves, and as we learn to forgive those who have inflicted pain upon us, our connections will grow stronger, and our lives will grow happier and healthier and more prosperous. And for this, we are truly grateful. As above, so below. As within, so without. And so it is. Amen. Please click on the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. And I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts and questions. So please use the chat box on the right side of the screen, or if you're watching this in replay, the comment section below the video. Thank you very much for watching. I am Rev Andrew Bozeman, and this has been On the Wings of Your Mind.